You know that little tap you do every day, the one that pays for your coffee, gets you on the train, or pairs your phone to your speakers in like a second? That's near field communication, or NFC for short. And it's pretty much everywhere. It's woven itself right into our lives. But all that convenience, it does make you wonder.
Yeah, it's incredibly convenient, but that brings up a really important question we all need to ask. Just how secure is that tap really? Are we maybe trading a little bit of safety for all that speed? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. I mean, think about it for a second. NFC is in our phones, our credit cards, our smartwatches, you name it. And every single time we tap, there's this tiny, invisible conversation happening with data flying through the air. And just like any other conversation, we got to ask, who else might be listening?
Okay, so that's where we get to the really important stuff. Now, NFC technology is designed with security in mind, for sure, but it's not a fortress. It's not foolproof. There are actually four main risks we should all be aware of every single time our data makes that tiny little journey from our device to a terminal.
All right, so here they are, the big four. You've got eavesdropping, data corruption, interception attacks, and good old-fashioned theft. They kind of range from super high-tech digital snooping all the way to the simple physical risk of just losing your phone. So let's dive in, starting with the sneakiest ones.
So first up, we're going to tackle a sneaky pair, eavesdropping and data corruption. One is all about someone secretly listening in on you, and the other is about someone actively trying to cause digital chaos. Eavesdropping is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Just imagine your phone and the payment terminal are kind of whispering your credit card info to each other. Well, an attacker who's nearby with the right kind of antenna could potentially overhear that digital whisper and just snatch your data right out of the air. And the difference here is honestly night and day. Using an unencrypted channel is basically like shouting your credit card number across a really crowded room. But a secure encrypted channel, that's like putting that same info in a sealed, tamper-proof envelope before you send it. It's why encryption is absolutely non-negotiable for secure payments. All right, so next up is data corruption. Now, this isn't really about stealing your data, it's more about sabotage. An attacker can just blast a bunch of digital noise or conflicting signals right when you tap just to confuse the reader. Best case, your payment just fails. Worst case, it could actually alter the details of the transaction without you even noticing. So how do you fight this? Well, your best defense is actually the device itself. Good quality NFC hardware and software have these data integrity checks built right in. They're constantly making sure that the data they receive is exactly what was sent. So it really comes down to choosing devices that are built to ignore that kind of digital static. Okay, so we've covered the sneaky listening and data scrambling. Now let's move on to our next pair of threats, which are, let's say, a lot more direct. We're talking about interception attacks, where your data is actively changed, and theft, which is all about good old physical security. You see, an interception attack is a huge step up from just eavesdropping. In this case, the attacker isn't just listening in. They're actually grabbing your data mid-flight, changing it, and then sending the altered version on its way. This is what's known as a man-in-the-middle attack, and it's super dangerous because both you and the terminal think you're talking directly to each other, but you're not. The defense against this was actually a really clever trick baked right into the technology. Secure systems use what's called active-passive pairing. Think of it like this. Your phone is the active device. It does all the work, creating an energy field. It's the one shouting. The terminal is passive. It can only whisper back using the energy your phone provides. This whole one-way power street makes it incredibly difficult for an attacker to jump in the middle and change the message. And finally, we get to the most low-tech risk, but honestly, it has the highest impact of all. Plain old theft. If somebody steals your phone, they don't need any fancy antennas or hacking skills. They have the source. All your payment info, all your data, it's right there in their hands. And that's why the most important security feature you have is when you already use dozens of times a day. An unlocked phone is literally a wide open door to your entire digital life. But a strong screen lock, whether it's a PIN, your fingerprint, your face, that's the deadbolt on the door. It is your first and your best line of defense. Period. Okay, so we've looked at all the risks, and I know it can feel a little daunting, but now for the good part. Let's pivot to the solutions. This isn't about being scared of the tech, it's just about using it smarter. So, here's your protection playbook. 4 simple steps for a little digital self-defense.
You know that old saying, right? It is so true here. It's all about being proactive. You don't have to be a security genius to keep yourself safe. You just need to build a couple of good habits and make some smart choices. Let's build that offense. So let's boil it all down. Our playbook is basically this. 1. Start with physical security. Lock your device. 2. Choose good hardware and secure apps that use encryption. 3. Insist on those secure channels. And 4. Well, the good news is that most modern payment systems already use the strongest defenses, like that active-passive pairing, by default. See? It's all about creating layers of protection. Simple.
And that right there is the key takeaway from all of this. That tap-to-pay feature is a marvel of modern tech. It's fast, it's simple, it's amazing. And with just a little bit of awareness, we can enjoy all of that convenience without having to sacrifice our security. They absolutely can, and they should go hand in hand. So, as we wrap things up, I'm just going to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Our phones have already become our wallets, and they're quickly becoming our keys, our concert tickets, and even our official IDs. As more and more of our actual identity goes digital, understanding these security principles, it's going to be more important than ever. So what do you think is next?